Lisa from Life in Layouts. Today I have this one-page sketch that I'm going to turn into a two-page layout, and the sketch is from Scrapbook Generations. I am using this homegrown paper kit from Echo Park, and I picked up this kit back when Hobby Lobby was having their huge massive sale, and I got it for only $2.50. So it was not a kit that I was gonna probably use over and over again like I use with a lot of my paper kits, but I figured for $2.50 I can definitely get at least one good layout with it, maybe two, and I would be perfectly fine with it. So I am taking these photos from the petting zoo at the fair in 2018, and I'm going to use those on this layout. So I'm pulling out the paper that I think will work best, and I love that like burlap brown paper there. It's hard to see the detail in the video, but it is gorgeous paper. And then I'm also using this flower paper, which I really like as well. And so I decide to put the flower paper on top of the burlap. So if you look at the sketch there, I'm using my pencil to try to determine where I'm going to cut it. So the burlap piece is going to be the piece that's on the very, very back, and then that flower piece is going to be on top of it here. So you'll see that I'm trying to figure out what works best. And sometimes when I don't, this sketch may or may not have measurements. Usually Scrapbook Generations is really good about putting measurements, but I don't think that I use the measurements part of it. I just use the sketch. So this is where I realize that I'm going to be covering up a little piece of that, and I want to save as much as I can. So I go ahead and get out my T-square ruler and just not really gut, because I do leave a piece, but kind of take a little piece out of it so that I can save that, because I want to save as much as I can of that piece of paper, because there's a lot of paper that I don't like in this page kit, so I definitely want to save anything that I do truly love. So then I'm using this blue gingham paper as my borders on the top and the bottom. And so I'm just cutting them down to fit to be the same width as the flower paper. And then I decided to use this purple paper as a very thin strip on the flower paper. And I'm actually going to use that purple paper to mat my photos as well. So don't fear, I am definitely going to turn this into a two-page layout. I am pulling out this 8x8 pad. I got this paper pad from the Echo Park warehouse box sale, and I actually put it away when I first got it, and then I was like, you know what, I can use those colors are Echo Park colors, so they're gonna match. So I decided to go ahead and put all of those, because I got a couple 6x6, a couple of 8x8, and a couple 12x12s. I went ahead and put them on next to my desk so that I can pull them out whenever I am using the Echo Park, which, if you guys follow my videos, is quite often, because I know that it's going to match because the colors are, all Echo Park. So for the strips or the banners that behind the that big flower piece, I went ahead and cut those out in all 3 polka dots in that pattern, or that 8x8 paper pad. And I did just, because they're 8x8, so they're definitely not long enough to span across the top, I just cut the tops and the bottoms off, and so it's hidden behind that as well. So this is where I'm going to use that purple paper as well to back my photos. So I put all of them on the purple, and then so they're all connected there. And then I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress ink in Hickory Smoke. And this is a very light gray. I really like this to add distress to the edges of my paper without it being overly distressing it. So after I ink up all the edges, I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down. And when I put that flower piece down, all I put down is one strip across the center of the back of the paper there, just like that. And what I do is I go ahead and flush it to the right side of the layout. So I'm going to span it across, and that's how I'm going to make my 2-page layout. So once I get these main pieces down, I lift up the edges to add these banner pieces. And then once I get those down and I get this purple strip down, then I will go ahead and adhere the big flowers down as well, because I just had that one strip, so I wanted to make sure that that was down. And I'm having struggles. I'm having problems with that little tiny piece. It's 1/4 of an inch, so it's really thin in regards to trying to get that down. But I finally get that down, adhere the back of it down, and then I'm going to use Fun Foam on my photos to pop them up a little bit in regards to getting them down. And then that's the left side of the page. And so then I start working on the right side of the page. And then I realize that the sheet of paper that I have left, there's only one, is not big enough to cover the entire space. So what I end up doing is I take 3 of my 3x4 photos and I span it across the top of the pattern paper. And then I measure to see how much paper I need left and cover the bottom of the paper. So it what looks like it expands across, but it's truly only on the bottom half of it. So this is where I'm going to measure it. I'm going to determine how much paper I need and trim that up. So that is definitely a tip that you want to use if you only have one sheet of paper, but you want it to make it look like you have a lot more. So these pictures are from the Volusia County Fair last year, and they had a petting area in the fair, and they would give us these ice cream cones and fill it with some kind of pellet food for the animals. Well, we got, I think it was like 3 for $10 or something like that. So when we walked in, Jackson got so scared, the goat jumped right on him, that he dropped his pellets and the cone, and it was gone in a heartbeat. So we had to give him the other one that we purchased, and then Adam had his that Kevin hung on to so that he wouldn't drop it as well. So I had 3 pictures here, and they're pretty much very similar pictures. There was a very, very, very tiny little baby goat. He had to have been born very recently. He was so little, and you can really see it in that picture that I'm trimming up now. When I put it down, Adam's hand, and he's only 4 in this picture, his hand covers the whole back of the goat. And so you can tell how little tiny he is. So there were 2 little goats. There was a black one and a white one there as well. And so you can really see the black one in the one that I'm putting on Fun Foam right now. And then the pictures on top of that are just the pictures of us feeding the goats. And then there was just this one random shot of a chicken in the goat pen. And so we got a picture of Jackson trying to pet the chicken. So I did realize that I forgot to add the purple strip to this. So I'm pulling up the pictures just a little bit and adding it underneath, and then cutting off the edges. So then I'm going to pull out the sticker sheet. There's not a whole lot of stickers in the sticker sheet that I can use, but I do use what works. And so this sticker here says you can't buy happiness, but you can buy local and farm fresh, and that's kind of the same thing. So I use that one in the sense of, buying local, farm fresh goat milk, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really work, but I like the way that it looked on there. And then I have this little this little circle that I cut in half and added to the edge of the paper there, or the edge of that sticker. And then I added this little cow because I thought, why not? Again, don't have a lot of stickers that match from this page, from this paper pad. So I'm adding this little pink one that says Happy Day, and I'm going to put that up on Fun Foam, and I'm actually going to add it to the left side of the page underneath the photos there. And then I tried to find a couple other word phrases that work, and none of them do, except for this one. Oh, I did pull out this one, but I realized when I put it down that there's no red at all on this paper. There's actually very little red in this paper pad, but so I decided to go ahead and not use that one. And I found this little tiny one that says the word sweet. So I added that underneath Happy Day, that's sweet in green. So then I found these 3 little circles that have hearts on them, so I added those to the right side above that sticker. And then I pull out my heart punch, and because I have those 3 pieces of polka dot paper, the yellow, blue, and orange on the left side of the page, I wanted to bring that color in over on the right, so I added these 3 hearts from the same paper to the right side of the layout so that it brings those colors over, so it's not just on the left side. And I do end up moving the cow down a little bit. I thought I was going to add the heart right there, but I don't end up adding it. But I do add something else later there. So I added these two, the yellow and the blue hearts, to the edges of the layout there. And then what I'm trying to do is, I felt like the blue, yellow, and orange were very bright. And so I used a piece of scrap to see what it would look like if I added some of the Distress ink in the hickory smoke. And I'm glad I did test it out, because I added too much and it was really dark and I didn't want that. So I just added a little bit that it toned it down so it matched better with the colors. So then I pulled out some stickers from my sticker book, my embellishment book, and I found this chicken. And so I added him next to Happy Day. And then I have this white banner and it has a green star on it. So I'm going to add that right underneath the word sweet. And then eventually I will add a date to that. Then I have this little arrow that says we are here, and it's pointing towards the pictures. And then that little yellow sticker underneath Happy Day says fresh air. And then on the right, it says down on the farm. And then I have these 3 little orange enamel dots that I added to the left side as well. And then I have this card that says sweet, and I really like the way that looks. And so I'm going to put it up on Fun Foam, but then I realized that I probably should put the date down first so that I'm not having to worry about trying to get it down around the Fun Foam. So I go ahead and put the date down, and then I add the sweet back. And then I pull out these stickers. You know, these are probably my favorite stickers at this point. Pick these up at Tuesday morning. So I'm going to spell out the word petting zoo in these stickers. And then I'm going to pull out these square letter stickers. And at first I was just going to say fair petting zoo, but then I decided I would torture myself and add Volusia County Fair, which is the county that we live in, which I cut out a lot because those stickers, when you're doing long words, it's not the greatest thing. So and then one of my enamel dots fell off, so I had to put that back on with a liquid glue. But then that's it. I really want to thank Allison Davis. She posted this sketch over on her page, and I will link her Facebook page below. She gave the inspiration of using this older sketch. And so here are a couple of close-ups and detail shots, as well as my full layout. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's all I do on this channel. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a scrappy day.